everybody. Welcome to Norwood Oval and the Adelaide Football League finals here on this absolutely glorious Saturday morning on the parade. With me is the Police Commissioner from the Adelaide Football League, John Kernahan, and two of our wonderful members of police of SAPOL, have Suresh and Katie. Today it's very exciting. We're launching a brand new advertising campaign to attract our future police. And this campaign is attracting people that we hope and expect will be serving South Australia for decades to come. Policing is a great job. For generations, it has been a career of choice of so many South Australians. But what we always need to do is to ensure that we are modern, that we're up to date, and that with this campaign that we're launching today, I'm confident that we are attracting again people that are going to be dedicating themselves to policing for decades to come. Of course, this is as part of a very significant commitment from the state government in this year's state budget to accelerate and increase recruitment into SAPOL. Over $90 million to both employ additional sworn police security officers, 189 new sworn police security officers, and $12 million to support campaigns like this and to support additional recruitment through our police academy. About 900 cadets over the next 3 years. We are also able to announce today that we will be going out to other jurisdictions, including the United Kingdom, Ireland and New Zealand, to attract the best, the keenest and most capable police to support those additional feet on the ground that we want to see. Our government has been very clear that we want to support through a financial injection getting more police on the beat as quick as we can. So we're recruiting more, we're attracting more, and we're retaining those people that we want to see this as a career for a very long time. I'm going to throw to the Police Commissioner. I think John will have a few words, and I'm not sure if we can throw Suresh or Katie in the deep end, but always happy to take questions, of course, after that.
Thank you, Minister. As the Minister pointed out, we've been given $12.2 million to accelerate our recruiting efforts over the next 3 years, and that starts right now with the launch of this new campaign, You Belong in Blue. That's leveraging off the long-held tradition of police officers being associated with the colour blue, and this has come about as a result of significant research and support from marketing companies. So hopefully this will resonate with South Australians who are thinking about a policing career, those who are leaving school and starting into their working life, and also those who might be thinking about a career change and moving into something they've always thought about doing. So we're excited about this. We think it's going to deliver great results and help us recover that recruiting gap that we've been experiencing over the last couple of years. This campaign is endeavouring to get 300 extra police recruits into the academy this financial year alone, plus another 90 police security officers, so that we can maintain that level of service that the community of South Australia has come to expect from us. I'll hand over to John for a few words, and then happy to take questions.
Thanks, Commissioner. The Adelaide Footy League is privileged to have anything up to 12,000 18 to 35-year-old young men and women, of which nearly 60% of those are under the age of 23 years of age. So we consider ourselves not only privileged, but we also see it as a great opportunity to identify what is a very crucial role in representing our community and an honourable career for those who are looking for a career to follow. And that, coupled with what is well acknowledged to be a shortage, notwithstanding the fact that they still have to demonstrate the necessary skills to aptitude, we will play our role in providing those opportunities for our members, and in turn hope that we're providing a service for the community in general.
Commissioner, in your eyes, is an advertising campaign enough to overcome a shortage, or are there deeper issues like pay conditions that would actually keep people in the force so that you don't have to rely on an advertising campaign?
The advertising campaign is just one element of what we're doing at the moment to address the recruiting challenges. We are increasing our presence in regional locations. We our selection process and recruiting process to make it as easy as possible for people to enter the organisation. And we're also looking at retention initiatives as well to make sure that those people who are currently in the organisation or those who join consider it to be a career of, that might endure their whole lifetime. So we are looking at a range of different initiatives. This is simply one of those. Paying conditions will be addressed through the enterprise bargaining process, and we've got a lot of suggestions that we'll be putting on the table through that process that would relate directly to people who are currently with us and potentially create more incentives for people to think about policing as a career.
Can you talk us through any of those incentives?
No, it's a bit too early to talk about incentives that will be subject to negotiation through a fairly complex process, so they'll come to light as we move through that process.
Why do you think policing is experiencing such a shortage?
That's an excellent question that every commissioner around Australia is asking. We're all in a very similar situation where we've seen a downturn in interest from local applicants, and each of the jurisdictions are taking steps to try and recover that recruiting shortfall. There are some elements of COVID-19 that we believe might have impacted on people's perceptions of policing. We've also got record low employment, the lowest employment levels since 1974. So that has an impact in terms of the amount of choice people have in terms of career options. And we're simply one of those sectors that are fighting to attract people who have so many choices in terms of what their career options may be.
Is this current shortage putting additional pressure on the officers that you do have, and is it affecting any of your responses at all?
We maintain a strong effort, and I have to acknowledge the work of the people on the front line in SAPOL in getting to urgent calls for assistance within our benchmark timeframes, and we are still achieving that. There is no secret that people on the front line of law enforcement in South Australia are working incredibly hard to maintain that level of service, and the big push in this area is to provide relief to them as quickly as possible, and the recent commitment of the government to fund an additional 189 police security officers is a part of that response. We now have police security officers working alongside police officers, easing some of the burden that they're experiencing on a daily basis so they can focus on those grade 1 and high priority grade 2 tasks.
We've seen the van here today. How do you plan to market over in the UK, over in New Zealand and Ireland?
We're working on the recruiting campaign for both the UK and New Zealand. With the UK, there are obviously visa issues that we need to work through, and we're currently going through that process, and once we've established that process, we'll then start the campaign to attract people to South Australia to become police officers in SA. New Zealand is a different story. There are no visa restrictions, so that will probably kick off more quickly, and I've already notified the New Zealand Commissioner of our intention to start fishing in his pond. I'm sure he's not too happy about that, but we're all in the same situation, and we're all working aggressively to get our numbers back to where they should be.
And is it going to, how do you advertise to police in the UK? Is there going to be some sort of exchange program? Are you going into actual police stations there with posters and that kind of thing?
We'll have a team that's working up that campaign. Social media is going to be a big leverage tool for us. Word travels very quickly when we start a campaign like this, and part of our work is to identify the appropriate visa that will really attract people who are thinking about a lifestyle change and moving to Australia, particularly South Australia. Western Australia and Queensland are already recruiting from the UK, and their response has been overwhelming. There are tens of thousands of police officers in the UK and Ireland, and we're pretty excited about the opportunity to be able to market South Australia as a location of choice for those people thinking about a move.
Why should they choose SA over Queensland and WA?
I'm surprised you have to ask that question. Having travelled to both Western Australia and Queensland, I will come home every single time. South Australia has so much to offer, and I do think that there are more challenges in some other jurisdictions in terms of postings than what you would experience in South Australia. There's not a single part of South Australia that is not attractive and would be an attractive opportunity for anyone from the UK, Ireland or New Zealand.
Are there particular sections you'd like to see the numbers boosted in SAPOL?
Right across the board. Frontline is our most important area, but we are balancing movements within the organisation to make sure that we're not adversely impacting on one area. It's still critical that we have police officers in patrol cars 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. So we are making sure that other parts of the organisation are sort of taking a lean approach as well. and country locations. It's absolutely critical that we maintain those levels because there are issues of support being close by, so we need to make sure that we maintain our establishment levels in country locations.
We heard from the Commissioner Swanwell. We heard from the opposition earlier in the week. There is, I think, something around 282 extra officers who are on medical leave and a parental leave. I mean, is that a number that you agree with, and is that affecting the amount of officers you have in your ranks? Is it higher than it's previously been?
No, I certainly agree with the number, but our total number of police officers is well over 5,000. Our full-time active requirement is around 4,700. We cater for people to be on leave, as any organisation does. The total number of police officers is a number which allows people to be on medical leave, maternity leave and other forms of extended leave. So that's just a normal part of business, and it's the way we've operated for as long as I've been Commissioner and well before.
A few times this morning
Thanks.
A few times this morning, you've said working with SAPOL is a career of choice.
Yep.
A lot of local South Australians obviously don't feel that way, given the shortage in recruitment. So what's the government doing to actually encourage local South Australians to sign up, not just people from the UK?
Well, we don't have a shortage of people wanting to be police. What we've had is no plan to train more police. We've got thousands of people that apply to be police every year. That bottomed out during COVID years, obviously some years ago now, but that totally bottomed out, and SAPOL found themselves in a position that they'd never been in before, where for the first time, through a variety of reasons, people weren't applying to be police. That has corrected. That's corrected almost overnight. So fundamentally, we have the people that want to be police, and we have the pipeline of South Australians that want to be police. What we're dedicating ourselves as government to do is to fund the accelerated training, which means that they can get on the front line as quick as possible. Keep in mind that to train a police officer takes 10 months. This isn't something that occurs overnight, and sadly, the previous plans before we came to government were to do nothing. There was no additional funding from the former government, and there was no plan to have additional recruitment. So since coming to government, the number of people being trained through the academy has doubled. That will continue now in a sustained way for up to 3 years, and that's absolutely the goal, and that's where our focus is. Cheers.
Is the police officer who's on the van like to give us a quick...
I thought I recognised you.
I feel like someone's looking over your shoulder.
Katie, can we just get you to just say your name and position firstly?
My name is Katie Webb. I'm currently a probationary constable at Hanley Street Police Station.
And how do we spell both of your names, Katie?
Katie and Webb.
Katie, how do you feel seeing your face plastered all over vans and billboards?
Listen, it's what I signed up for, I guess. That's essentially what it comes down to. It'll probably take a little bit to get used to. I'm not used to seeing my face when I go places, especially in uniform. But when I drove up today, I was immensely proud as well to see there. Yes, you have that little bit of where you're slight anticipation, you're slightly embarrassed, but immensely proud. If I ever see myself in my uniform, I'm always proud to be wearing it, which for me is the end goal.
You're not Irish by any chance, though?
Not at all. Yes. 100%. Yes.
And so, what made you make the move?
I just came over to Australia for a holiday, and never actually left. So I was one of the very fortunate ones that did get to stay. I originally came here on a 457 visa, and then got my permanent residency. Initially for me, I wanted to try and ensure I had the correct life experience before I joined the job, and I feel like when I joined at 31, I feel like I had that and I was ready to do it. So, yeah.
What would you say to people, just lastly, what would you say to people that may be hesitant to join or sitting on the fence, why should they sign up?
Well, initially I was one of them. I guess my initial sort of thing was self-belief, where I didn't feel, it was like, oh, would I be good enough for this job? You never know until you try, and if you don't ask a question, the answer is always no. So give it a shot, because you're honestly, you're never gonna know until you're there. And you get so much training. Like we're at the academy for 9.5 months. You come out, you're a probationary constable. You have so many people guiding you and helping you. So you're not completely thrown in the deep end, and it gives you a really, really good opportunity to broaden your horizon and work on your skills. So you're helped the entire way through to try and round you out to be the best police officer that you can be.
What do you say to people back home having a pint of Guinness who might be thinking about moving to SA to join SAPOL? What would you say to them?
Go for it. 100%. Yeah. Guinness isn't as good here. It's not on tap, but you'll get used to it. Yeah, you're just not going to the right pubs.
Katie, how long have you been a member?
Beg your pardon?
How long have you been a member?
So I joined the academy on the 5th of August 2021, and I've been out on Hindley since May 2022. Oh, sorry, 2022. Pardon?
I'll be extremely rude and ask how old you are.
I'm 33.
How have you found the Hindley Street beat?
Fun. Yeah, initially when I first came out, it was the street of dreams, I guess, as it's coined, but I've really enjoyed it. It's taught me to rely on my operational safety, which obviously is very important wherever you are in the job as well. But it's good, it gives you an opportunity to speak to people, and whether that be young people and you have an interaction with them, and whether they be a victim or whether they just want to have a chat. And eventually, sometimes when they walk away, they're like, oh yeah, I could see myself doing that. Or they walk down and they're like, oh man, how did you get into this job? And you're like, let me tell you a story. So yeah, no, 100% go for it.
Okay, well good. Thanks ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you.
Suresh is also one of the faces of the campaign.
Yeah, sure.
I didn't want you to miss out on that. That's all right.
Suresh, why did you join SAPOL, and tell us a bit about your story?
I basically come from India, and moving to Australia is a big challenge. I wanted to be a police officer or police security in India, but I couldn't get a chance to do it. So when I came over, I find out in the media that I can join in the SAPOL. So since it's been 2 years now almost, but I'm really enjoying my job, and it's quite easy. And I thought it's going to be a tough time, but it's really easy. And the team around SAPOL, it's very good, and they really help us go through wherever you want to be.
Suresh, can we ask you to say your name on camera for us?
My name is Suresh Sripada.
We're going to need you to spell that, sorry.
It's SURESH SRIPATA.
Great.
What are some of the things you've responded to? I mean, have you had to deal with some pretty interesting scenarios that police face?
Yeah, as a police security, we do respond to school alarms, and I normally work in a police headquarters. We do get sometimes people if they're agitated and things like that, and yeah, it's pretty easy.
Okay, thank you.
Great.